Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. This is Smash That Small Pad. It's a collaboration. I haven't decided if this is a process video, a behind the scenes, I don't know. We don't like to make things too long when they're a collaboration with friends. I had this For the Record 2-pad. I had started it. It was kind of chopped up and there was some stuff shoved in there, and I've used it before. I had fun with it the first time, but I didn't use some of the papers. Like cards with this paper sat around for a long time. They didn't speak to me. So I went through and I chopped up and kind of came up with card ideas for a couple of the cards. And then I have a bunch more sheets to go and we'll see where it takes us. Some of these cards are sewing themed. So I used my sewing themed stamps. This one says, "Thanks so much," to bring that out because I have quilters and sewers in my life who like those kind of cards. Beth used so I'm just going to put these together as we talk, and you'll see part of the reason I didn't want to put them together is I wanted you to see my tricks. So I die cut out of it because I wanted that pink to match. I know, pink, who am I? Anyway, Beth used a sketch I really liked. And so I might use that. I don't know. We might just fiddle. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We have an Eliza hair in there. There we go. But I thought I would at least put these together and then sort of see where we are. It's a couple days right now till Smash That Small Pad is due out. But I'm going to be honest with you. I have some family dinners and an early morning one of those days. So I really should have gotten this done yesterday so I could film and edit today. But then I was playing in the yard. Here in Oregon today, it was a little cloudy in the morning and it was nice. And I trimmed a couple bushes, which are the kind, they love hot. So I think they'll be fine with getting a haircut, even though it's, I think, going to be 90 something maybe on Tuesday. Oh. That can't be my plan. That's like the most boring card ever. Here we go. This was my plan. I like the back of this too. I had a little trouble deciding. And then I almost went junky and mixed in like a measuring tape that got accidentally cut. Things like that in your life. They can be cards. But I decided to keep them really smooth and easy to mail. It needs some ribbon or something though. Not that. It's vintage looking, so even though it has pink, I don't think it should have like wild pink. I kind of like the pink better than the lace. Anyway, so I got sidetracked doing a lot of other things today. And then I thought, I better get to it. Now, where we put the ribbon doesn't matter. I mean, really, it could be behind this as a focal point, which I'm thinking about. Yeah, let's do that. Or it could be somewhere else. It's just a little bit of sheen and a little bit of interest on the card. I kept adding layers on this and it got bigger and bigger. It will fit, but it is a skimpy card base. It was probably crooked, so I trimmed it. I'm going to go right here, put some layers of this. This right across here, fairly straight, and I'm just pushing it down into the stickiness, and then I'm going to take this stickiness and put it right over the top. Then I'm going to put sticky on the back. So I have an incoming Zelda on my right. She was napping, so I'm hoping she's just going to find a spot and go back to sleep, not try and help me. Not only do I have this mess that you can see, but the whole counter is a mess. I think, I did a members live and then I didn't clean up from it. I know, you're shocked that I didn't clean up. Okay, it doesn't matter how much adhesive is on that ribbon on the back, really, because we're going to pin the whole thing down. Not pin, you know, but glue the whole thing down so it'll hold the ribbon in place. All that really matters is that the ribbon is straight when we look at the front, because it's gripping. And if you have concern, I don't know, maybe like for me, I have no idea when this card's going to get used. So maybe I'll just take a bit of wet glue if it's not plugged up. Never hold it against the brand of glue. It's me. I don't clean the bottles out. I don't buy a new one. I have probably refilled this bottle. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 10 or more times. There we go. Okay. And it is art glitter glue, though you can't tell at this point, can you? There we go. Now, I am not really amazing at getting a card on the base perfectly straight. I don't usually cut it this close for space. So hopefully it works. Okay, a lot of pink for me. There's yellow in the paper too and green, but there wasn't a solid. Okay, it doesn't have a white strip across the bottom, but it seems almost straight, so we're going with it. There's not a lot we can do about it at this point anyway. We have some bits over here, so we'll just take one of these pink ones. We went so pink, we might as well just keep it going. Put some adhesive. Lots of times I do this off camera. Oops, I guess this one's going to be orange. There's so much. Here, let's use that one on that one. Anyway, I usually put the scraps on off camera because it's not the most exciting thing to watch, but I just thought I'd finish these sequentially. Also, I don't have a lot of this paper, so I sort of want to be sure that I do the inside with a paper that matches and it's nice. Okay, now we'll put this one together so we can use that piece I just glued to the counter. This one, I didn't punch out of the back like that one. Let's test it, be sure it works. I make all my card bases the same size, in theory. In reality, sometimes some are crooked. Sometimes there's that one that was crooked and then you trimmed it and then it was too small, but you thought, I'll use it another day for something, it'll work. So you never take it out of the pile. Is that just me? That's not really straight. Let's see if we can get it back off. Yes. Okay. It took a little chunk out. That's okay. It's better. Oops. It's a sad day. We should be back in the game. I should have known that it was just about empty because it was dragging. It gets kind of tighter. It's a lot smoother when it's freshly loaded. There we go. Okay, now these were scraps. And I had an idea, and I think it works. You can use wet glue, you could use your ATG, you could use whatever you want on your ovals, circles, and layers. If you are careful and you go around the edge really nice, the edge will lay down and grip a little nicer. You know, sometimes my edges might look floppy because I do it with the ATG. Now, I'm not ready to put the glue on because I don't exactly know yet. This one, I have an idea. And again, I can glue this however I want. It does not matter. My glue is a little bit plugged and I cut my thumbnail really short, so I can't use it. Okay, now I'm gonna set this one down on the other side. Again, no reason. My hand was close to the glue bottle and it was reflex, so I grabbed it. And then I'm gonna put this one over here, so it'll sort of look like two fun rectangles running across. I think I might have wanted that a little higher. We'll see. There. This is a scrap card idea, isn't it? Notice I still have the hole in there. It's not going to hurt a thing. Now I'm going to use ATG because I want strips across this. I don't want it to sink down into this middle part. In fact, let's shove something in there. Keep it a little flatter. There we go. What do you think? I can't quite see. There. Not bad for a scrap card. Kind of a fun little idea. And we'll use this orange piece that I have glued to the counter. Seems to be plenty sticky still. We'll put it on the inside. Try and get the cat hair out. There we go. Okay, so there's two. That one I don't really know where it's going yet, so let's wait a minute on that one. Sometimes I put the pieces together, but I haven't cut them down because I don't know exactly what I want to do. Same here. I had some ideas, so we need to figure out what the front of this card looks like before I layer it up so I can trim the ends easily. I'll show you if you don't know what I'm talking about. I was putting the sewing themed paper across here and it was a little boring. So then I got myself these 1/2-inch strips to add some interest. But I'm not really sure spatially this works. Yeah, it's all right. If I leave that dot, it has to go right there. If I cut the dot, yeah, let's try cutting the dot. I can still cover, let's be sure. Yeah, I can cut that off and still cover the part that I cut out. Sometimes having things die cut out of it or having holes punched in it is frustrating, but sometimes it's just an inspiration to try a new layout or try something that you might not have tried. I'm going to use the edge of my paper cutter. You can also put it on there and then snip it off. But I'm going to use the edge of my paper cutter because I know it'll be straight. Let's put these on because they're cute, and I think I'll do them the same way maybe. And let's put this together while we're at it so it's sitting for a minute. It does not take much glue. When I watch some channels, I'm like, whoa. I mean, if the sentiment falls off of a card that I mailed you, let me know, but I don't think it's going to. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, now, because I don't want to mess with trying to get ATG straight, I'm going to go like this. If memory serves me, these might be a little long. Now, I have the lines of my cutter, and I have the, in theory, the end of the paper is straight, and so that also helps me. And in reality, it might still end up crooked, and the world won't end. I didn't use this back part either. It's a really fun, like, vintage text thing, but card-wise, I'm not sure who I send that card to. Like, you know, out of context, vintage text. I read the words a little, and I was like, yeah, I don't need that. Okay, then... maybe here, maybe here. Covers up the repeated thimble, and it's just a fun spot. For some reason, I like it. put it down off the edge a little. And there we go. So much thanks. Now I'm going to use this side because I almost forgot to cut those two off. There. You can do it with your scissors too. However you want to do it. Okay, there we go. It's not exciting, but it is a lovely card. I think the paper's not that fun to me. Not going to use this ribbon again because I already did, and I don't think it's like the absolute best ribbon with it ever. You can see I patched that hole with washi tape. It's very, very fancy. And it works fine. And quite honestly, I think sometimes you don't even have to patch the hole. But I knew I was going to be layering, and I wasn't sure how long these cards are going to sit around. Maybe my mom will snatch them up next week. Maybe they'll end up at the craft fair in the fall. Oh, that's actually pretty cute. I like it. It's not a bad layout for scraps either, because essentially that middle piece is probably about 2 inches, the full length of the card, and then maybe a little more, and then the other one is a 1/2 inch. Then you could put a circle, an oval, a square, whatever you want over it. I'm going to go up just a tiny bit higher because it was tight at the bottom. There we go. And let's see, what do we have? We could use this on the inside. Let's use it. My counter is so messy. After I put these cards together, we might need to take a break just so I can recoup and make some space. Okay, I was thinking this is my background. I didn't like how this stamped out. It was kind of goobery, so I'm putting something over it. So keep in mind, just because you stamp something badly doesn't mean the paper is trash. It was a nearly solid paper in a busy pack, so I wanted to use it. Now I might need to convince me that this card is a good one. I might need some black layering. It might be something like this. Yeah, I could live with that. It's totally simple and I could live with it. So we'll cut that off right there. We could layer it on black, would make it cuter, but this would make it thinner and lighter so that when I go to mail it, sometimes what I do is I put ephemera in and then I weigh it. And I make sure, I think it's like 9 ounces or something. And so I make sure that I'm not pushing it, but I think that's kind of cute. I think I should try it because I have a tendency to, we all do, right? You sort of get in your habits and you make the same card or the same layout. I don't know if I'll get it down exactly the way it was, but there's a bit of a stripe to this pattern, so I think I can get it straight or as crooked as the paper. It's pretty straight. I may have followed a crooked pattern, that's true. Okay, I don't know exactly where the glue should go on the paper that's in my left hand, but I know where I want it on here. So I'm going to put it like this. Now, you could also cut flags in these, you know, little like whoopties. That's the official term. But I'm not great at those, and I'm probably not going to like the results. And then, that's different than I had it. I mean, it's not bad. It's not, if you really love a layout, take a picture of it with your phone before you take the parts. Also, I have this now, so the way I had it before, I think this was wider. Maybe I covered up more or less. I don't know. Maybe I'd like it right there even. Maybe I would. I think I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to put something under the side of it because it's going to be, if I put it right there, it's going to have like that ridge. I don't want to use this. It's really cute. I'll use this. So you just pick a paper. Try to pick paper that's from the same collection or same brand or semi near the same thickness. Sometimes when I get in a hurry and I'm playing, I grab a different piece of paper off the counter and they're not the same at all. Oh my gosh. And also put it on the right side. If I edited all that kind of stuff out, you guys get bored anyway. Okay, there. Now it's a little curved and sticky, and that's fine. We'll just put some glue on this, put some glue on the outside of that, and it'll lay down nice. Very edge, there we go. Sometimes with the camera, it's hard to see if things are straight. Now, if we don't love this, granted, you don't get to vote in a timely manner. Oh, it's kind of cute. I was thinking if I don't love it, I can, well, let's put it on a card base so it goes the right direction. I can put it on black, right? I could matte it and then the black would pop more, but I kind of like it this way. I think it's cute. And this floral is just darling. I have a lot of pattern paper in there, and some people don't like that. They can't handle it, and that's okay. If it's too much for you, use more of the same papers. Don't mix it up so much. I also could have stamped the thanks so much on white, and then that wouldn't have added another pattern. 4 patterns is a lot for a card. And technically, this orange is a tone-on-tone pattern. You probably just can't see it on the camera. There we go. Now, well, this seems like it's square. Let's check to see if it's crooked or... Nope, it seems like it's working. Okay, we'll just put some glue on it. And we'll put it in the corner down here. And you do not have to put anything on the inside. You don't. I think it's a fun way to use scraps. It's a fun surprise when people look inside. It's cute. Sometimes I use a stamp, a sticker. Now, I still have this pile to deal with. We have one piece of the sewing paper left. So let's prep another card for the sewing. Let's assume we're going to mat it in black. I don't know why, just probably to tie it all together. So we'll go 3 3/4 by 5. That's our one card. Then we'll make another one of those where we cut the strip and use it. So we're kind of doing what we already did. I don't know if I have a different sentiment that we could use. Did we use this paper last time? Maybe we could use a slightly different. Oh, we used a different one. Okay. Oh, this one's already cut. Never mind. Here we go. Now, you could hang this off the side like this. You could also cut it down to a known measurable size. That's probably not totally straight. And then it would, like if you cut it to exactly 2 inches and then you moved it over to 1.5, you'd know that it was straight, right? This one, probably not so much. But we're going to take, what, 1 inch off, I think? So that'll straighten it out a bit. We'll take it off of this side. Seems skimpy. Yeah, this one. Seems skimpy there. Okay. So there's a card. This is a UFO card that we don't have a plan for. Oh, we could. Let's do that. Because we don't have a background to lay that on yet. Okay, that's funny. They kind of come out very similar. Then we have this to stamp a sentiment, pink or orange. Same piece of paper here for this one. We could also use the yellow, but it's so busy with all that going on. This has the hole in it and the real waxy edge, so probably not a viable scrap. Oh, we could cut this if this is our only piece. This one won't work by the time I cut the gunk off. We could cut this one in half and put it on the inside because it's cute and it's sewing themed. It's the tape. Okay, oh, here's a little tiny piece of it too. Okay, now I have thanks so much. I don't think I'll use You're So Special. I think those kind of sat around last time. I also think this black one, this stamp, they're all black, right? Would be really fun down here. The measuring tape. And I don't know that I've really used those stamps. Now, the problem is, if I mess it up, the other side's really blah. Does it even, I mean, it's like a neutral, almost white looking. If I mess it up, then we'll put this over it. That's what we'll do. We'll just adjust the paper because we just don't have a lot more to work with. Really awkward stamp and block. First and foremost, be sure you get it inked up. You can take the pad to the stamp. This video is getting very long. I want it to go off the end, but I don't want to ruin any paper that I really like. And I don't have any scrap paper handy. Here's some scrap paper. And I'm going to set it next to it. I'm not going to tuck it under because I want it to be fairly smooth. And crooked or not, once I'm down, I'm committed. Oh, that's cute. It just adds a little more theme, doesn't it? And a little something. It doesn't show as well as it might have shown on other papers. Still, super fun. So I have that one and that one. I'm going to set this aside in the drawer so I don't get it on anything. I think I'll stick with thanks so much because I want to stick with the sewing theme. And I don't know if I have any others. I mean, I probably do. But let's be honest, we need to get done. The really thin blocks, I don't love. They're thin and it's just awkward. Knowing what I know now, stamp blocks are something I would pay up for. Just so you know. I like the ones that have the little grid lines on them so you can tell if your stamp is on there straight. And I like the ones that have a spot for my fingers. This is a close to my heart one. I tried buying round ones. I don't like those because when it's dirty, I like to sit it up on edge like that. I don't know if you know, but round things roll. So not a fan of the round. I thought I would love it. I thought it would be like the best thing ever and it was cool and I had to have it. I was wrong. I wish you could vote. Let's go pink. We went orange. We'll do a pink one. We can mix them up if we don't like one on the other. Whoa! Okay, Eliza just slipped on something and fell off the counter while I was doing that. And I would like it noted, I didn't miss a beat. You okay, honey? So she slipped on that. You okay, Mal Mal? Yeah, you just hurt your pride. She's fine. She's embarrassed, but she's going to be okay. All right. So we have those. We'll let those dry. I'm going to take a break. I don't know exactly when and how I'm coming back, but how cute is this stitched die? Oh my gosh. I don't have stitched ovals the right size, but the stitched die with a sewing theme. And then I was experimenting with this. Kind of forgot what I was doing because I have a whole piece, so I don't know that I need that. I don't know if I want that. I'm going to cut this. I still have the highlighter tape, but I'm not going to buy more of it. Don't run out and buy it just because I'm using it. I think there. Oh, that's so cute for sewing. I don't like it right on the pink. So that's something to think about. If, I'm going to zoom you in so you can see this. If you're using patterns like this and there's a bunch of colors, if I'm going to use the pink one here, I probably want to put it, I don't know, maybe up here or over here. I would want like a triangle of the colors. So I don't love the pink one on this. I might use the pink one over here. And let's try the orange one on this. See how there's orange right there. There isn't much else orange, but we could probably make it work. That's just one of my weird, like I don't want it to be like a rectangle and a square touching of pink in the middle of the card if there's nothing else that color. And I think this is from a set of layered dies, but I think the next one up is pretty big. So I'm just going to do a cute little mat of black. I think that would be nice. Let's try that. Show you my very, very formal, fancy way of cutting the mat. You can measure and cut if that's what makes you happy. I don't like to measure and cut. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go, that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to take my paper cutter. And you can cut either way. You can put it at the top, you can put it at the bottom. If you put it at the bottom, it pushes it down tight. It can't slip away from you. And it's closer to you for detailed cutting, which is what I'm trying to do. But I'm going to use this top edge too, because it seems to me it might be a tiny bit crooked on the paper, and I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that, but the bottom is not right yet. So there we go. If you get it you can't handle it, it's way too narrow, then cut the other sides narrower or peel it off and start over. Oh, that's adorable. I love it. I'm not even going to put, I don't think, any of this stuff over it because it doesn't help. It doesn't make it a better card. Oh, notice that I could have cut out of the black in the back if I wanted. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't always have great looking cutting mats, so running this through, it kind of scuffs it up. But I'm not that worried about rationing my cheapo black cardstock. And I know some people buy really fancy black cardstock because they're super picky that black is black. This is black from Michaels, so it works perfectly fine for me. Probably also because I've paired it with vintage, so I don't want like the boldest black in the world. Oh, that's pretty cute. I'm going to put it, I don't like how it lines up with that paper right there. I want to break that up. So I think I'm going to center it. Then I'm going to lose both my B's though. See that? If I go down here, I have two, and that's weird. What if I go up here? Nope. I'm going to just go in the middle, figure it out. And I don't know if it's going to be the exact middle, but it'll probably look like the middle to me. This has a grid of patterns, so it'll be kind of obvious if I get it terribly crooked. There, that's where I want it. We have these nice strips cut, and we don't need them for the other card. Let's put one on the inside. I used to always put the paper right up to the very edge. What I have found is that because my card bases aren't always perfectly square, I don't love that. So I try and put it a little bit in, and I probably should have measured this so that I could make this a little shorter too. I'm going to try not to let it glue down. Then I'm going to try and cut it reasonably straight. Probably none of that is going to work well. So this would be a case of don't do what I do. It went all the way to the end almost, so I should have just let it go. That's okay. And see, it shows a little right there. If that makes you crazy, then set it down and just refold your card a little better so that that edge doesn't show. There. Oh, I made it crooked. Keep trying. See, I should have just left it. There. Now it covers that up and it's fairly straight. Do we want a black mat? There's no rule that says you have to mat every single card. If we do, the stamp down below is going to pop a little better because it's going to pull out the black. But I think this would be fun. We could go down like this and then put this right here. That'll make that pop a little better. What I know is I want the patterned paper to be fairly close to the measuring stamp. I'm going to put some glue. You probably can't see the glue very well on camera, but essentially I'm putting the glue on this piece of paper because I know where I want the glue to be, the adhesive. I don't know exactly how this piece of paper would lay out on it, but I know where I want on this one. There we go. Now we have that part done. Now we're going to repeat my super fancy matting technique. I do this with stickers, chipboard. I don't know what else. If there's something that you want to layer on, if I had a bunch of scraps just sitting around, I would look in those first, of course. But I have been really working on the scraps, and I'm too lazy to look for them right now anyway. Okay, that one's a little crooked on the bottom. Not sure what's going on with my cutting abilities. I could try it one more time with scissors. I don't think that's a good idea based on my skill. That time I got a little skimpy, so we'll just call it good. It's going to do that wavy thing and leave a layer if I don't put something behind it. And you have scraps if you are like me and you are randomly die cutting out little shapes or doing things. So just use those. It is true that you could also use the scraps inside, but I think we're okay. What if we put it right there? So I didn't press it down too much yet. I like it. The back of this paper is just fine, but it is so boring compared to everything else in the rest of the collection. Like, you might not even realize it has color to it. It would be fine for die cutting and stamping. Okay, put your parts together right side up. There's no rule that says you have to put adhesive in the middle of the card either. But, you know, I usually do it. There. Okay, that one is really simple. I mean, it doesn't have a layer, it doesn't have, and it's still really cute. The paper is busy enough that it adds a lot. That's why I wasn't too worried about having the black layer behind it. Sometimes on a 1/2-inch strip with an ATG, I get a little wild, but great. I'm going to put it on here. Lots of people use their cutting mats with markers, their glass mat. I hate to film on my glass mat. I thought I absolutely had to have it, and it is terrible for filming because of the glare. Also, mine's almost never clean, and most of you can't handle that. I think right now it has 2 colors of paint and some adhesive on it. And if I was doing a project, I wouldn't clean it off. Maybe for cards I would. Okay, that's cute. And how's the exact matching paper on the inside? Okay, we're getting there. But we still have whole sheets. And I have little bits on the counter that have adhesive on them. Get rid of those. Don't do that. I don't have a trash container on the counter. It's in the cupboard with the child behind the child lock. So I don't love that setup. I hope that as they get more mature, I can have a trash thing on the counter again. And after everything I've done today in the yard, my back says, no, don't bend over anymore. What do we have to work? We have some kind of muted things. Whoa, I think I used that last time. I'm not using it this time. Nothing sewing themed. That's what I was trying to spit out. Oh, shoot. I was going to use these on the inside, and they're so cute. Okay, I might keep that in my stash. I have a sewing bin, so I might just put these right back in my sewing bin and use them in a journal or something. Now let's look and say, what could we make out of these cards for any theme? Maybe we need some birthday cards. Maybe we need some thinking of you. Maybe these would make lovely sympathy cards. They're kind of muted, right? Understated. I'm gonna go 4 inches, and we'll do a tiny pink border around the outside, and 5 1/4. If you're not an avid card maker or you're new here, I do have videos that are targeted more to beginners and have measurements. And you can always leave me questions and I'll link you to other videos and help you. I need to see it and see if it's like, well, it's pink. I think that might work. And then like a with sympathy right there. Very often in the group of people that purchase my cards, they're looking for gender neutral ones. But I probably have a stash of those already. And I like to take a paper pad and see what variety we could make with it. We could easily make birthday cards, right? I mean, there's enough cherry flowers here. Like this one says birthday cards all day long to me. Maybe sympathy, maybe not. Okay, I'm going to, for speed, repeat this concept right here. I know. I don't think I ever actually make the same card. I mean, maybe by accident. So we'll have to mix something up on the actual embellishment. For this one, maybe we do this one and we mat it in black. I love these little florals. Is that weird for me? The layout that Beth did, but now I'm kind of sidetracked on these. And I don't, the layout that she did, I loved it because it was so busy and it had so much fun stuff going on. And I don't really think that's quite right for sympathy cards. I like my sympathy cards to be understated. I don't put bling on them. There's no glitter. When you see me flip the paper and you're like, what is wrong with the paper? One end of it is dented up. So I'm trying to use the good end so that I don't have to chop so much. Because then on this side, I'm going to cut it off and toss it. There we go. Some paper manufacturers, their paper is not square when you take it out of the pad. So watch for that as you're cutting, because if you're frustrated that something didn't come out straight, it might not be you. This one is off a tiny bit. I haven't corrected it on all of them, but it is off a little bit. I can't think of the brand off the top of my head that I have been at my wit's end with before because I didn't realize it wasn't square. It might have been my mind's eye. And it was a 6x6 and I was like, what is happening? So we have those. Then we have some wild, this would make a fun little kid's birthday card. Oh, I used this before. This is a lot. I mean, when you see this, you think that's beautiful, or do you think, whoa? I'm going to hang on to this because I have an idea for it. And I do like the orange polka dots too. I don't like this green geometric. I'm not using that. I know that for sure. This one's pretty boring. But I'm going to make cards with it. I'm going to make it happen. What I'm thinking is this and then this. So this is the back layer of it. I don't know if it should have, doesn't matter. I'll cut it the same as I've been cutting the other ones. And then if it needs a black layer, we'll just give it like a hair of a black layer. I have to see if this is square. It's not quite. We'll fix it up. There we go. So see, I'm thinking these two go together to make a card. And then we have that negative, positive, the pattern repeating a little. This can go inside of one of those. This can go, oh no. What other whole pieces do we have? Just this one? Well, we should have, do you guys see it? What's it look like? Ooh, there it is. We'll cut this. Don't get, if you're smashing a pad, I used to sit down and just go crazy cutting. If you do that and you get down to where you only have these two strips and you want to use a great big sentiment, you don't necessarily have a piece of paper to layer or mat it on if you've glued all the stuff together. So that's why you see here, I'm not gluing the layers together because maybe I want to wrap ribbon or washi or something, or maybe I want to die cut out of a layer before I put it together. Who knows? You know, this And some of this wouldn't be terrible. Terrible. I mean, it wouldn't be terrible. I guess that's not saying much, is it? That seems to be, this is why I have to stop sometimes and clean up. That seems to be my last whole piece of paper. I do have these, whew, that's bright, and this to build patterns on. So, oh, okay, we'll use this and knock that back a little bit. I'm not even sure that's the same red. We'll work through it. And then this green, we're going to put with this. We're going to make this card, and then we're going to have that piece. But this is a really busy pattern. I think it needs to be toned down a little, so I'm going to cut it smaller, 3 3/4 by 5. And then it will have a bigger mat. Oh, you know what? Also, it could go on here. Oh, that's kind of cute. I don't hate that. The flowers and the stripes. I need something to drink and air conditioning. It is hot in here now because I turned it off for you. Then I'll see where we are. In my house, if you want to walk away from this, you put something on top of it because somebody will run through it and then you will lose all your ideas. Friends, there's a lot more of this video to edit, so we're going to wrap this up for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll bring you the second part again soon. Bye-bye.